Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Draws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. And for this video guys, we're going to be drawing Cinderace Vmax. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw it, then let's get started. I'm also going to put up a reference right now on screen. That way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that we are going to start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are going to do your final drawing. So remember to do your lines light. Alright guys, so first of all we're going to start by doing a circle. This is going to be the waist area. So basically this is where you should do this circle right here. And then we're going to split it in half both ways. We're going to do this shape right here, which is going to be the rest of his body all the way to his neck. And then we're going to add another circle, which is going to be his head. So these two circles guys should be roughly the same size, although if you guys notice, the one on top is a little bit bigger than the one that we did for the waist. Alright, so now for these shapes right here guys, we're going to start by doing the side, like the fur that's coming out of his face. And then we're going to do a line that goes down guys, which is another circle, the length of another circle, and around halfway we're gonna do a little mark, that way we could do the legs right here for these shapes. There we go. So remember guys to pause the video as you guys go, and obviously this one's gonna be a little bit smaller than the one on the right, just because the left leg is further away from us. Alright, so once we have that guys, we're gonna do the length of another circle. We're gonna mark it right there as I did. It's just a little small line, and then we're gonna do a giant circle right here for the actual, I'm assuming it's like a soccer ball. So right here we're gonna basically do it. So I started off doing this one by doing the cross first, you know, in the middle, and then I kind of use that to kind of do the circle. But since I'm using the computer guys, we're gonna do a perfect circle by just using one of the options that the program gives me. And once we have that guys, then it's just about, you know, finishing it off and adding all the details. So these are gonna be basically the last touches guys. That's why I said to do your lines light, because we were gonna go over it a little bit darker for the actual drawing. So here we're gonna start by doing the forehead right there, which is this like arrow pointing down almost. Now for the eyes, if you guys notice, it almost reaches the body right there. So you guys could just focus on the circle that we did for the head and kind of see where it looks, you know, like we split it in half. If you guys can notice, the eye is right in the middle of that circle. Now right here for the shoulders, we use those shapes that we did earlier. And now for the waist around here, this is kind of like the belt line. Now for the other side of the face, this one's a little bit hard to see since the image I did kind of make a little bit bigger. It's still a little bit blurry, but hopefully you guys could get an idea by the way that I draw it. Alright, so now right here around his shoulders, it has this right here. And now for, I'm assuming it's like his hair guys. Once again, you guys can use the circle that we did earlier as a reference to know where to place all these. This one actually goes a little bit behind him, and then we could actually see part of the other ear on the other side. Alright, so now I'm doing the outside of the eye, which I make too big. So I do erase it guys. It looks a little bit more kind of like emo style. So I do go back later on and I do make it a lot thinner because I did it too big. Alright, so now for the clouds right here on top, we're going to do a circle with these lines that's just going to help us do the rest of the body for the clouds. So it kind of has like this warm shape to them. As it gets to the end, they get a lot smaller. Alright, there we go. Now for the bottom right here, just gonna use those shapes that we did earlier just to kind of frame him up, and then we can see part of the tail right there. And now for the belt line, there we go. Alright, so now for the ear, we can barely see it, and right here I'm just giving you guys an idea that it kind of goes around the bottom of the circle that we did for the waist. And now we're gonna do his kneecaps right here. So I'm doing this flame just because it does cover it, and that's just gonna allow me to do the rest of it. So this is where I recommend looking at the reference, guys, as you guys are going. That way you guys get a better idea. And then one thing that you could do is just erase some of those lines from the circles and stuff like that, since having so many lines does get a little bit confusing. So I recommend going, like, pausing the video where I erase everything and then erasing all those lines that we did earlier. That way they don't confuse you. Alright, so now for the soccer ball, you guys might correct me. Hopefully you guys are able to see the circle. Just gonna do the eyes. You guys can see where we split it in half. If you guys notice, the right eye is above the middle. It's like basically on the top half of the circle. Once we have that, we could do these right here, these flames coming out of the forehead. And now we're just gonna connect it to the top over here. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm just lightly, you know, doing the shape of the fire. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same, guys. Just try to get an overall shape of them, and don't just go from one end and then go to the other. Kind of just skip around and do different fires, you know, the different shapes and stuff like that, and then just connect them. We could always, you know, work on that a little bit further, but just try to do like a reference kind of like, you know, sketch of them. All right, so now for the ears, once again, I'm doing a rough sketch as well, like we did earlier with the circles and stuff like that. This is what I'm doing. That way, it's that's the reason it's a little bit messy. I am gonna go over it. I just kind of want to get an idea where everything's gonna go, make sure that everything's gonna line up. So these are not the final lines, guys. This is just me, just, you know, sketching that out and seeing how it's gonna look like and where it's gonna go. And then once we are ready, we could go actually by looking at the reference and then just adding those final lines. So right here, I'm just erasing some of the lines from the circle that we did for the soccer ball. That way we don't get confused. So that's something that comes in handy. That's why I said earlier to do them light. That way they'd be erasable. Alright, so right here, you're not able to see, guys, but I'm working on the right side of the ball. And you guys could just use the reference for that. Just kind of see where the fire is compared to the eyes. For example, it seems like it has a tail, which is basically under the eye. I don't know if you guys noticed that on the fireball. Alright, so this is where I'm doing the final lines, guys. This is where I'm going and I'm finalizing anything that, you know, I'm gonna do. So this is not something that you guys are gonna be able to do. So hopefully you guys were able to do the final outline after the sketch, or you guys could always go back. Something that I normally do when I actually use a paper and a pencil is that I erase the whole drawing, and even though I'm erasing it, guys, I can still see those lines. So as long as you guys can still see your sketch, you could always just, you know, erase it and then just kind of do your final outline that way. Or you could just use a pen or a Sharpie or anything just to do the final outline. There's people that like to kind of trace it. You can put it against the window, put another paper in front of it, and kind of just trace your drawing. There's so many different ways of doing this, guys, and it's just a matter of getting used to doing sketches, right? It's always just doing like really light lines and then going over. Once you know, you kind of have your sketch, you know where everything is, where it's gonna go, then you just go down and just place your final outline and just kind of touch it up a little bit and make it a lot better. And hopefully, the thing is that I might be a little bit confusing, you know, especially if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But maybe if I put it in a different way, you guys might understand a little bit better. So what I'm trying to say is that, for example, when you're gonna draw a face, like someone's face, you're not gonna, there's people that draw the eyes first and then the head. But there's people that draw the head first. That way they know where to place the eyes. And that's kind of what sketching is. You place something so you could, like, once you know, it just helps you so you can know where to draw, if that makes any sense. So like I mentioned before, with the fire. I just wanted to do like a rough sketch of the fire, that way I kind of know where it's going and kind of roughly know where it's headed and what the shapes are like. And then you guys see me here, I'm not even following the sketch that I did of the fire, I'm kind of just finalizing it, but I just wanted to get an idea of where the fire was gonna go, where the shapes were at, and then once I know where all this is, I could just go in and just do my final outline, like do my final lines, make the actual lines, in other words. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you guys, but hopefully you guys are able to follow this. I did just recently buy a camera, guys, a really expensive camera, so I will be doing more drawings in pencil, which will make it a little bit easier for you guys to follow. This was just me before getting the camera. I decided to do this tutorial, and that's just the only issue. It's just kind of getting, like, letting you guys know how to go about sketching and then outlining. That's I think the biggest issue, and that's something that's really hard to do when I'm doing digital art, like right here with my drawing tablet. And yeah, so if you guys are wondering what kind of tablet I'm using, it's just one of those, to be honest, I think it's like I can't remember the name of the tablet, guys. I didn't even have it next to me. It's just a tablet that's like that's like a screen that I connect to the computer, and then it basically is considered like another monitor. It was like $250 on Amazon, and it really comes in handy because, you know, you get to draw like if you were doing it on pencil, but when you do tutorials and stuff like that, it's not useful for this. So I might just use this for other, you know, types of drawings that I might do, but with my new camera, I'm hoping to just do, you know, like hands-on real life drawings. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, guys. I just got it this morning, and it was a big investment for my channel, but hopefully you guys can see the difference in the content. So here I'm just going over so right now I'm not able to see the reference lines that we did earlier, guys, because I did them too light. So you guys might just think that I'm just adding the fire just like that. I'm not. Like in the actual drawing, I'm still able to see the sketch. So right here I'm just adding the overall lines, right? I'm not just making them like a perfect circle, nothing like that. I'm adding some texture, you know, some waves to it to make it seem like it's actually on fire. And for the ear, the inside of the ear right here, once again, I'm using that sketch that we did earlier, and it's just gonna help me do the rest of the ear. So one of the issues that I had was the end right here for the ear. So that's what I did earlier. If you guys saw that I did like a straight line going kind of like from one end to the other, that's just gonna help me kind of place each individual, like, I don't know what you would call it, like hair. I don't know what it is, but hopefully you guys understand. So one of the issues that I have, guys, with drawing digitally is coloring. I'm not good at coloring, guys. I have a huge issue coloring. I've always been bad at it. It's something that I've always tried to improve on. I'm not saying I'm horrible at it, but I wish I could do a lot better, and I think everybody could say that about themselves. There's always room for improvement. So don't really judge my coloring. It was just more of a drawing tutorial. I'm just giving you guys an idea of how I ended up coloring it. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I'm doing here that you guys are not gonna be able to do in person, you know, with markers or anything like that. Since I'm using a computer, I'm able to blend with the program and stuff like that. And if you guys are wondering what program I'm using right now to draw, it's actually called Autodesk Sketchbook or something like that. It's called Sketchbook, and you guys could just Google it, Sketchbook program, drawing program, and I'm sure it'll pop up. But I believe that it is something that you gotta buy. I think now it's like a monthly. Last time they ended up making it free, and then it's been like, I think, over a year or two since I last actually used this program, and I had to re-download it because I ended up getting another computer because my older one broke. And then I noticed that it wasn't free anymore and I had to pay. So yeah, that's just something that want to warn you guys about, just in case you guys want to do digital on the computer. There's tablets out there that you guys can buy fairly cheap. There's a Huon tablets. There's just different tablets that you guys could use that are not an actual screen, but you could just draw on them and then just look at the computer. That's how I started. I had a Huon, and it was like, I think, $40 on eBay, and it did help me a lot. But then I ended up investing on an actual like monitor where I could see where I'm drawing and stuff like that, which obviously it does make a difference. But here's the end of the tutorial, guys. This is how it ended up coming out. I think I did a good job in the fire, even though I didn't add too much texture to it. If you guys look at the reference, there's a lot of texture in the fire. It's a lot rough, it's a lot more sharp than the way I have it. I have mine is just really soft, but it still looks pretty good. I don't know, I think it still looked okay. I ended up making Cinderace a little bit more on the pinkish side. It was just something that it looked good when I was doing it, but now looking back at it, obviously comparing it to the reference, it doesn't look right. Like, it should have been a little bit more white, but we live and learn, you guys. You know, I think I did an okay job. I didn't do a good job, I did an okay job. And like I mentioned before, this is not a how to draw, not how to color, I mean, it's a how to draw Cinderace. So hopefully you guys were able to draw him. Let me know in the comment section below how he ended up turning out. And you just remember, guys, that you guys could always send in your drawings to be featured at the beginning of my videos. And yeah, my links are in the description. You guys can join my Discord, you guys can share your drawings there, or my email. Just email me. Just don't use Facebook or Twitter, guys. I rarely go on there. So if you guys want to send in your drawings, I'll be happy to feature them at the beginning of the video, just like the ones you saw on this one. But that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.